Julie Asuka is a Japanese-American writer who was born in 1962 in California. The Buddha in the Attic portrays the Japanese-American experience of internment camps following Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor in December 1941. The Buddha in the Attic begins with the boat journey taken by young women who migrated to America from Japan in the early 1900s as a part of an emerging marriage market. The migrating women come from all parts of Japan, but interacted with one another as a form of friendship during the voyage. When they docked in San Francisco, they realized that the men awaiting for them were much older than they appeared, and then ultimately they were a part of a matchmaking scheme to lure young women and young girls to America with the hopes of finding husbands to live luxurious lives and take care of them. But this was not the case. But instead, most of them spent a discomfortable wedding night in motels rooms that were within their husband price range. The women embarked on hard labor lives, working for that of white Americans, where they felt that were beneath them. Many of the women worked in fields and lived in tents and barns, and some took jobs as maid, where the mistress found them delightful. Other inhabitants of J-towns all over the San Francisco area lived entirely apart from white people who ran the country. Even after decades in the country, most only spoke little English. These beautiful Japanese women faced major discrimination and prejudice and racism at the hands of their white bosses, and a lot of times even raped the ones that were maids. Their white male bosses would find them so attractive that they would coerce them into sexual relationships. And as well, without access to reasonable contraception, the women had multiple pregnancies. They gave birth to their babies, which hindered their abilities to work their laborious jobs. While the children began to get older and develop a life outside of their Japanese culture, as the ones that their mothers tried to instill in them in the home, they began to reject the life of a Japanese worker, and they began to learn English very well, which their mother did not have the abilities to do because Japanese were their first language and they haven't had American schooling yet. And after years of service in America, the women began to understand their low tolerance as second-class citizens who are banned from certain venues and events because of their race. And in America, during this time, the women are shocked about Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor. Now they are suddenly viewed as traitors. Every Japanese citizen in America at this time have been randomly targeted, especially their husbands, as being spies, and American soldiers began to take them away and put them in camps. And then the government rounds up and put them in miserable camps located all around the country. While not only did their bosses not stick up for them and help them regain their citizenship during this time, many faced persecution for the attack that Japan did on Pearl Harbor. So now suddenly the language and still one woman consistently left her mark by planting a laughing-based Buddha statue in the attic, where it remains until this day. Hence the name of the book, The Buddha in the Attic.